The Zambia Agribusiness and Trade Project II, ZATP II, is a project of the Government of the Republic of Zambia under the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry, aimed to contribute to increased access to markets and finance and to promote agribusiness firm growth in Zambia. Supported by the World Bank Group at a total cost of 170 million United States dollars, ZATP II is a scale-up project with a duration of 5 years effective 2024 to December 2028. To achieve the project development objective, the Zambia Agribusiness and Trade Project II, ZATP II, has 3 components. The first component supports access to markets and finance, while the second component promotes trade, agribusiness growth, and market competitiveness. Component 1 on access to markets and finance offers 3 services to project beneficiaries, namely Market Connect, matching grants under productive alliances, and a line of credit.
As a project, we have been targeted to support 133,500 beneficiaries. Out of these beneficiaries, we are supposed to support 900 cooperatives or producer organizations with both technical and financial support.
Under Market Connect, ZATP II aims to build capacity of target beneficiaries through business incubation and market linkages, the matching grants and a line of credit, promotes access to finance.
When we are talking about Market Connect, we are talking about growth. We are talking about meeting your orders. We are talking about consistency. We are talking about profitability. We are talking about accessing the right markets. That is the focus around the Market Connect concept. So who are we looking at? We are looking at working with agribusiness firms, POs, obviously producer organizations, that will be eligible. They must have at least these 4 things. There must be commitment to growth. That's what Market Connect is about. There must be alignment with the project objectives. They must have financial viability and also technical feasibility of their business models, meaning they should have tested the model. So the model is not designed for startups. It's designed for those that have already tested their model and they are saying, this is what we can do.
Under the line of credit, ZATP II provides access to finance through credit or loans to beneficiaries at affordable interest rates for enhanced investments to promote productivity, market competitiveness, and firm growth. The Zambia National Commercial Bank, ZANACO, was recruited as an Apex Financial Institution, AFI, to manage the line of credit for the Zambia Agribusiness and Trade Project II, ZATP II. The recruitment of the Apex Financial Institution, AFI, ZANACO, was followed by the recruitment of 6 participating financial institutions, PFIs, to support implementation of the line of credit across all the 116 districts and 10 provinces of Zambia. These included Stanbic Bank, ABSA, First National Bank, FNB, Agri's Company, Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, ZICB, and Indo-Zambia Bank. From the 14th to 16th May 2025, ZATP II organized an orientation workshop for ZANACO, the Apex financial institution for the line of credit, and participating financial institutions for the line of credit. The workshop was organized to introduce the ZATP II project to ZANACO, the fund manager for the line of credit, and the participating financial institutions, PFIs. This was done to manage expectations from the project, implementing partners, funding partners, and project beneficiaries.
The idea is that you need to understand what this project is all about, who are the financing partners, how is the line of credit going to be administered, and above all, how is ZATP as a project going to meet its objectives. We've got the targets that are coming under the line of credit. We've got targets that are coming under matching grants, under productive alliances. We've also got targets that are coming under Market Connect.
Component 3 on project management establishes the Project Implementation Unit, PIU, with support staff and professionals recruited to coordinate implementation of the project across all the 10 provinces of Zambia. The Project Implementation Unit, PIU staff and experts from the World Bank Group, the funding partner, facilitated the orientation workshop.
From the World Bank side, I manage the project that is called Zambia Agribusiness and Trade Project. It's quite large in scope, as Golden was rightfully presenting. One of the key components is the line of credit, where we look forward to working very closely with banks.
The workshop provided a platform for the project under the World Bank Group to share environmental and social standard requirements for borrowers under the line of credit.
We don't want our project activities to contribute to biodiversity loss. So if there will be project activities that will be will involve, for example, agricultural activities which will involve land clearance, how they clear land. The ESF is important to enable the government as well as the client better manage environmental and social risks and impacts associated with the project.
In order to minimize and mitigate some of these potential risks and impacts, the project will need to comply with international, national, environmental and social laws and regulations. These are basically frameworks that have been developed in order to protect the environment and ensure fair treatment of project-affected persons and communities by incorporating environmental and social economic issues, and of late, the issues of governance consideration as we implement the project. So these laws and regulations are used to avoid and manage pollution, protect endangered species and animals, and also ensure fair labor practices and promote sustainable development in terms of implementation of the projects. But also these laws help to ensure that the rights of the workers that are going to employ are maintained. The impacts of the projects may extend to communities, and hence community health impacts will need to be taken into account, and these laws that are relevant to the projects are going to be applied to the project.
During the workshop, the exclusion list for projects that are ineligible for funding under the line of credit for the Zambia Agribusiness and Trade Project 2 was shared. The exclusion list is in line with the World Bank Group's environmental and social safeguards for borrowers.
We as a project as well have an exclusion list. Project investments in game parks, this is not allowed. So we will not be building any fancy agricultural sheds or fancy agricultural, what do you call this, greenhouses in national parks. We will not be doing that. Any trade in wildlife or wildlife products, we will not be doing that. This is inclusive of leather. Any activities that will require you to fund someone who wants to relocate households or resettle or involuntarily remove people from their land, this is not being funded.
The orientation workshop provided an opportunity to share the process of the flow of funds from the World Bank Group to the borrowers using financial intermediaries.
The World Bank, we provide funding to our main clients, usually is the government. In this case, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Commerce. So our main client is Ministry of Finance. Through Ministry of Finance, we provided funding to Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry. And then they will own lend to financial institutions, ZANACO, and then ZANACO own lends to participating financial institutions.
The project has the operational accounts with ZANACO government complex branch. So that's where the funds will go, and then they'll move from government complex branch to an account that will advise us where to take the line of credit funds. The 27 million that will go to the beneficiaries, ZANACO is also putting in $8 million, isn't it? Yeah. So the 27 will not be released at once, just as we may not also expect 8 million to be released at once. Okay? But at every given point, whenever we do a projection together of how much funds are needed, we need also to work out the ratio. How much of this projection for line of credit is coming from the project, how much is coming from ZANACO?
The initial disbursement that we're looking at is $2 million kwacha equivalent. When that comes through, for those who are ready to start accessing the funds, share your pipeline, and we are going to be sending it. We will disperse subsequent to fulfillment of all requirements.
Under the line of credit, financial intermediaries starting with the Apex Financial Institutions, AFI, need to have environmental and social management systems, policies, and procedures in place as a precondition. ZANACO Head of Investment Banking, Laston Chiliba, shared the environmental and social management system for ZANACO as the Apex Financial Institution, AFI, and fund manager for the line of credit.
When we do our credits, for instance, on the ZANACO side, part of the due diligence we do is on the E&S. So we have a detailed E&S questionnaire, which is supported by an E&S checklist. Yeah. So for every project, you look at the checklist. From the checklist, you're able to classify whether that is it will give you the classification level, the kind of risk you're dealing with. So the idea is, at the time you're going to disburse the loan, you have already fulfilled all the critical requirements.
During the orientation workshop, all the 6 participating financial institutions, PFIs, for the line of credit, shared their environmental and social management systems, ESMS, policies, and procedures for investment lending.
So for the first question, yes, we do have an SMS procedure, please.
Some of the productivity enhancing investment by the borrowers under the line of credit will involve infrastructure projects under different agribusiness value chains.
So what are the possible civil structures to be funded? And there are some pictures, most of which are from our previous beneficiaries. So grain collection and storage sheds will be funded. Construction of milk collection centers are going to be funded. Fish ponds, domestic animal sheds. We also fund erection of boreholes, irrigation systems, crop and animal processing facilities. These include milling plants, bakeries, fruit processing plants, and every place that is really for processing of crop and animal products, abattoirs, butcheries. We also fund off-grid mini solar plants, as well as pack houses and sheds.
Infrastructure projects funded from the line of credit are expected to be compliant with national and international construction regulations, as well as an environmental and social safeguards.
So the guidelines have been crafted to promote sustainable, cost-effective and climate-resilient infrastructure investments. So beneficiaries of the funding for the development of this infrastructure are therefore required to follow the regulations as they construct or as they implement this project. Planning Act number 3 of 2015. So this act is implemented by the local authorities in the designated towns. So the requirements under this act, especially in terms of construction, is that those who are doing construction should submit their drawings to the council to obtain planning permission. So that is requirement number 1. So even as they are constructing, they should be calling the local authorities to do what they call stage inspections. Because it's from the stage inspections that the councils will be able to issue out occupation certificates. If the project was not inspected as it was being implemented, it would be very difficult for the council to certify something that they didn't see all the stages of construction. So the second, as we see, is obtaining of occupation certificates. So once the project is done, before it could be occupied, the council needs to certify it that it's fit for people to occupy it.
If I was to ask even the people in here when they are building their houses, to you, does council come at its stage? It's like there are a lot of procedures to follow. In terms of monitoring, I think how are you going to come in to lessen the burden maybe on the banks?
I would be glad to hear what the expectation is from yourselves to us as bankers in terms of monitoring those standards or making sure that clients comply. Because most banks, I think we end at financing, traditionally. Yeah. We end at looking at the numbers, the financial statements, you're good, finance. Will the organization come in so strongly on the ground, monitoring?
So in terms of monitoring, we would also come in as a PIU. But what we want is when we go on the ground, we don't want the beneficiary to say we are not told. At least they should have that information. And even as we inspect, we relate the information that we told them. Of course, you might not be on the ground most of the times, but we will be on the ground and interact. That's why we need this information. I'm sure this information, you don't even need to go in the field to get it.
Apart from infrastructure, agribusiness investments related to food processing across different value chains have to meet minimum food safety requirements, such as the Global Food Safety Initiative.
When we're considering food safety, we start from the farm because hazards can come all the way from the farm up to the consumer. Food safety is a shared responsibility. Okay? That's why as a project we are committed to this cause. We have other government agencies and ministries that are working with us because it's a shared responsibility.
How are you coordinating that with the project? And how does this link in with the would-be borrowers, those that are being, in other words, whose due diligence is being conducted by the PFIs. Can we visualize how this is going to be done?
Issues of food safety, once we are satisfied as a project that these have been supported adequately by the TSPs. TSPs are technical service providers. These are consultants who engage. Once we are happy that the beneficiaries that have gone through component 1A are ready to receive support, then we will refer them to the banks to say, you look like you are ready now. Go and try your muscles with the bank to see if the bank's assessment will pass you.
Apart from the line of credit, the project provides matching grants under the productive alliances for investments aimed to promote productivity and growth for producer organizations. The Productive Alliances model brings together farmers as producers organized in form of producer organizations such as cooperatives, farmers associations or unions, the buyers or aggregators, and the processors under a win-win business relationship.
We want to support small and marginal farmers be responsive to the needs of the market. Okay? So if the market is demanding that the product is packaged in a certain way, or there are certain volumes that are being demanded, then this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to promote them to be responsive to the market and meet the needs of the market. Meaning that we are looking for those that are serious, those that have already started doing something. Our role is not to start something new, but basically to find something that is going on and scale it up so that they can improve with their quality, their production, and how consistently they are supplied to the market.
Monitoring and evaluation is key to ensuring that the Zambia Agribusiness and Trade Project 2, ZATP II, meets its goals on target beneficiaries to achieve the project development objective. Effective monitoring and evaluation requires a coordinated reporting process from the participating financial institutions to the Apex Financial Institution, ZANACO, and the Project Implementation Unit, PIU.
ZANACO as the Apex Bank and the PFIs to the project so that we are able to see the impact of this sub-component and report accordingly. Because when you feed the project with information from the PFIs, you'll be able to report and also submit to the ministry and to the World Bank.
Where we have concerns, okay, as a project, even from the previous discussions, is those that will come straight to the banks. Okay? There are certain elements that they may not have benefited from the project that would help us to successfully track them and monitor them. So it still comes back to the bank. We can agree on modalities. In the past, we've managed to monitor each and every beneficiary as a project, and we have that capacity.
So what's going to happen is all the PFIs are going to submit to ZANACO, and then we collate and submit to ZATP. So you have an appreciation now of when you're told by the 5th, you need to make your submission, because we need to also collate the information and submit it to PIU so that they in turn meet the 15th. The monthly deadline is 15th of every month. So I think here and now, let's just agree. 5th, we hear from the PFIs, ZANACO puts all the information together, and by the 10th, even before that, all the information is gone.
Communication and corporate branding is key for effective stakeholder engagement and visibility of the project. Its implementing partners and funding partners. The communication and corporate branding guidelines for ZATP II's implementing partners under the line of credit were shared with the financial institutions.
As we communicate we have to make sure that we harmonize the messaging, and also there is an element of brand visibility. How do we ensure that we acknowledge the support where it is coming from? For example, World Bank, as a funding partner, would be interested to be part of a success story about the project. Things to do with the environmental and social safeguards, requirements for you when you are dealing with projects that deal with infrastructure. How do you make sure that you do the right thing? Food safety presentation, it came out in the recap. How do you ensure that in the process, because agribusiness basically deals with food. Food comes from agriculture, and those agribusinesses, they do the processing. How do we ensure that there are no reputational risks in whatever we are doing? As we delve into the project, particularly the line of credit, how do we make sure that our brands are protected? Because if the projects that we are going to fund are going to cause negative news in terms of publicity, then our brands, the reputation that we are talking about, is then they will be affected.
The successful organization of the orientation workshop for the Apex Financial Institution and the participating financial institutions for the line of credit marked a major milestone for the implementation of the line of credit for the Zambia Agribusiness and Trade Project 2, ZATP II.